Good afternoon. My name is Jacqueline Alsop. I'm the president of the Anne Arundel County branch of the NAACP. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for coming out this afternoon to this press conference that we've called in support of one of our prominent leaders, Carl Snowden. And today, as you well know, Mr. Snowden has been an advocate for over 40 years. Mr. Snowden has served on numerous positions, including alderman. He served on cabinet, as a cabinet member, as a department head, and a strong advocate in our African American community. We're not here today to address any questions related to his case, but we are here, and as you can see, to support Mr. Snowden for the impact, the great impact he's had on the city, the county, and the state of Maryland. There are several elected officials, clergy, and community leaders who are here who would like to make some comments regarding Mr. Snowden, and each one of them will have an opportunity to do that.
Mr. Snowden, working with the state NAACP and the ACLU in the 1980s, was able to increase the number of blacks elected officials in the state of Maryland. Because of his leadership, African Americans were elected to public office that no African American on the Eastern Shore or anywhere else were elected. In the 1990s, as a member of the Annapolis City Council, he passed landmark legislation prohibiting private clubs from discriminating in the city of Annapolis. At the beginning of the 21st century, he spearheaded the effort to create the first Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in the state of Maryland. He is currently leading the effort to create the first Coretta Scott King Memorial in the state. We point out some of his accomplishments because it's important to remind the community of his commitment to civil rights and civil liberties. I have worked closely with Mr. Snowden on many issues over the years, and I am confident that we will continue to work together to improve the conditions of our community. Again, the NAACP is here to express our support for this record in civil rights and civil liberties. He is one of the most prominent life members of the NAACP, and we want this community to know that Mr. Snowden is a friend of the NAACP. Thank you very much.
So when I sit back and I think of many of the obstacles that this county has overcome, and I try to place a face with many of those challenges, the face that goes with those challenges is the face of Mr. Snowden. Not him alone, certainly not him alone, but he is one of the principal people that has been involved in those fights in this county. But let's not stop there, because I don't believe that God called him there to stop. And I think that is what elevated him to being with the Attorney General's office at this date. I don't think that Attorney General Gansler could have come up with any better selection of a person having been tried through the wars and through the times to lead his office with regards to civil rights and their enforcement and advocates in the state of Maryland. As President Alsop mentioned, with regards to my counterpart in Somerset County becoming the first African American elected in Somerset County in any position ever. A county that boasts, and Mr. Bracy, help me if I'm wrong, some 48 to 52% African American population. That's the type of leadership, that's the type of vision, that's the type of person that I believe we have all come to stand in support of today.
One of the first persons that I met who encouraged me to use some of the talents, some of the skills that I have was Mr. Snowden. I just remember so many things. The Ku Klux Klan March, whenever we were ready for the community to come together, Carl was always there helping us to define what we needed to define and get it together. So that's why I stand for a person who has, since I've been back to Annapolis and I came back, I guess, 1990, Carl was there.
On behalf of Mr. Carl Snowden, I think we all know that Carl has been a pioneer, he has been a drum major, he has been the source of much activity within this community. Almost every enterprise that has taken off the ground in terms of social action, Mr. Snowden has been involved in. I'm very delighted to come forward and to give my support. And I would hope that at this time that all of us, including the Capital newspaper, if I may call them out, would be of the mind to show some mercy. Because we do need to recognize the good works that all persons have done. And I think that Mr. Snowden has done some very excellent work within our community. We all make mistakes, we all fall down. But I think at some point we all must be of the mind to demonstrate and to show some mercy towards our fellow man. And so I would just hope that as we continue to move forward, recognizing the good work of Mr. Carl Snowden, that we might be of the mind to do that. I'm very happy to say that I know when I came here as a pastor that Mr. Snowden called me. He helped to introduce me to the community. He also was very influential as we moved forward to organize the Black Chamber of Commerce. He has been a leader and a vanguard, whether it has been for political justice, social justice, economic justice, whatever the need has been. Mr. Snowden has been one of those persons to come forward and to help organize the community. And so I'm very happy to come forward today and lend my support on behalf.
There have been a number of efforts over the years trying to look at the achievement gaps and the poor performance by minority students in Anne Arundel County. There have been several different working areas, and so youth education is something that's just been very important to me. And this is an area that he's shown keen interest with. We've continued to try to work with the school system. Most recently, we coordinated a program to have one of the school buildings dedicated in honor of Mr. Philip and Rachel Brown, the former Board of Education building on Green Street in downtown Annapolis. And so today I've come to this press conference as a friend of Carl, a person that I've worked with for 30 years, and a person that I think is an asset in the community, and someone I look forward to working with in the future. Because children are very important, education is very important, and these are areas where we stand together. And thank you, Ms. Officer, for having me an opportunity to say a word about my friend, Carl Snowden.
As you know, I've gained a reputation of speaking at funerals. But I'm speaking about a gentleman that's very much alive today. And with a gathering like this, we're going to keep him alive. I followed Carl from high school right up to the State Attorney's office, Attorney General's office. And I'm a firm believer that the old folks say, grace and mercy brought him thus far, and grace and mercy will see him through. And with this show today, we're behind us.
Everyone knows that I'm not a native of Adam Park. I'm not a native of Maryland. I'm from Virginia. When I first came here, became involved in stuff, when I worked with people at Fort Meade, they said, if you want to get anything done, see Carl Snowden. The truth of the matter is, I want to tell you just how much Carl means to me, because as far as I'm concerned, Carl Snowden is my brother. When you attack Carl Snowden, you're attacking me. Okay, and I know Rob Reeves feel that way. I know some of the other people in this audience feel that way too. Carl, I got your back. You know I do. But everybody let me and Carl fight all the time. All the time. But again, we fight out of love. And again, if you attack Carl Snowden, you're attacking Louis Grayson.
My name is Antonio Brown. And I've served my country all over the world trying to improve life for people. A group of us veterans afterwards came home to our respective communities and found things weren't the same as they were when we left. lucky enough to move into a community where I lived only a few doors down from Mr. Snowden. And wanted to know just who the players were around here and how to get things done. Because I had a lot of vision when I came back home about things that I thought needed to be done for not just our people, but all people, to bridge the racial gap, the educational gap, the housing, deal with public safety, and Mr. Snowden made sure I had access so that I could get those things done. There's not a place in this city, in this county, in this state, when you look around that you can't see the footprints and the impact that that man has had on our greater community. Right now today, Forest Drive is being worked on. He made sure I had access to city council to help make them plans so that that would happen to improve traffic. The black community had been decimated. We had been moved out of the communities with one way in, one way out, with no amenities around us to support jobs for our kids or nothing like that. He made sure I had access to get a safe way there, a CVS, a whole bunch of other things that have created jobs, giving people health care. I just think it's a darn shame that after all these years of impeccable service, that someone like him would be persecuted because we all have human frailties.
As he says to us in all the emails that he says, Alupa continua, which means the struggle continues. And we need people like Carl Snowden to continue the struggle. We need to uplift people who do big things, as the President reminded us in his State of the Union message. We are a country that does big things. And I would dare to say that Carl Snowden is a man who has a big vision and does big things. As a practicing Christian, and many of us have got up here and talked about that, there are two things that are fundamental to our beliefs. One is salvation, and the other is redemption. And this community needs to remember those values. Those are important things that we all live by. And again, I would just end by saying that if it wasn't for Carl Snowden, we wouldn't have the Martin Luther King Memorial that Councilman Jones talked about, and the upcoming Coretta Scott King Memorial, so that we could take our children to understand and remember why it's important never to forget. Forget who you are, forget where you come from, forget what your values are. And I would just end by saying, if there's anybody who lives his values, it's my brother and my friend, Carl Snowden.
I found Carl to be a man of character, vision, and I don't think any of us in this room cannot say that when he gives you his word, you can count on him. Man's not afraid of a fight. If you see a good fight for justice, he'll jump in. I always supported Carl because he's always supported me. And you know, when you serve in the police department at the level that I served for 14 years, there's been some difficult times where Chairman Snowden had been on one side of the issue and I've been on the other. But we both found respect and admiration for one another. And I suggest that there are very few people in this room that Carl hasn't helped in one way or the other. Again, the man won't run away from a good fight. And that's the reason I'm here to say that I'm so pleased that we have Carl in this county. When I look around and see all the positive things that's happening that reflect African American value and contributions in this county. So Carl, keep fighting a good fight. I'm a little bit like you. I say a good fight, I'll get in. Thank you. But